Thanks for thanks for
We're
tuning in.
yeah, I was streaming it in the space.
Nice. Oh, that's very, very kind of you. Didn't expect that. Hi, everyone. It's been a little while. We had a skip week, Wolf. So here we are. How's your travels going?
My travels were good. I hit Vegas for 4 days, then LA for a week, and now I am back on the East Coast.
Welcome back to the East Coast.
Yeah, West Coast got me. I can't do that early time zone. I don't know. The whole PST thing, it's not for me, I don't think.
It's okay. It's not for everyone. It's not for me either. But I love it out there. I love it out there.
Yeah, I mean the weather was nice. People are very nice out there, we'll say.
Yeah. Yeah, not like us assholes in New York. Just kidding.
No, nothing like you assholes in New York.
It's like a competition between Maryland and New York.
Throw Philly in there.
Yep.
Maryland.
Yeah, that was shocking. Maryland. The Baltimore crowd.
Maryland.
Vicious.
Oh my God.
I mean, you'll get a gun pulled on you, but I don't know if they're that rude.
Interesting.
It's.
I literally witnessed. I was driving from Germantown to DC, and I witnessed a battle of cars, literally intentionally trying to drive each other off the road.
You can see that in the Bronx on any given day.
Yeah. Oh man.
I don't know exactly what you're picking up on, but X, I know you wanted to pop to the other. Are you sticking around here for a few minutes? You popping over there? Anything else you want to say on this one?
No, just thanks everyone for tuning in. Hope you all enjoyed the content, enjoy the profits given and the setups. And if anyone has questions about something, just shoot me a DM. And appreciate everyone's time.
Perfect. Okay, awesome, X. Appreciate it. All right.
Yeah,
Doug,
thanks for having me. Good to see you too, Doug.
Good to see you too.
You guys take care.
Thanks.
Awesome. All right, Doug. So I've been trying to move this time around because the goal was, so Stock Talk Weekly started this recurring segment. He started it during this time, so we might have to message a little bit more and kind of figure out a time, maybe one that doesn't overlap. But I don't think we'll have too much trouble with it. But you want to kind of start off and just walk us through a little bit about what you were just talking about on Yahoo Finance?
Yeah, sure. I kind of like the fact that they were vibing with me on seeing where opportunities are and really how to navigate what's, a trying market for a lot of people, get a pulse on, how recession bound we are. If there was less questions on that, I was anticipating a few more just in the show notes, but it was just about, navigating the market and I framed it as a, disciplined long-term buy and hold investor, really from how we approach this in practice with our clients, and even how I approach it as a investor myself. And this is a lot of, what I talk about with my clients week in, week out now, which is how to thread the needle of being, both, what's the word I'm looking for here? Wow, really struggling as I'm putting stuff away. Being cautious and managing risk, primarily unemployment risk, against, the fact that there will be opportunities through the form of cheap assets out there. And a lot of that, and I didn't get into it in the interview, those things are fast, how a lot of this really just boils down to really good cash management, and being able to know just how much liquidity isn't too much cash, but is enough to make you feel safe in case, shit hits the fan or you lose your job. Versus how much is, too little cash in case that happens, versus too much cash to where you're not deploying, arguably a bad asset class to have in a very inflationary environment, cash, and how to be able to get that into cheap assets. Because, in case y'all haven't noticed, not stonks, right? Stonks down. So if you're a long-term investor, you're probably, hopefully you have enough discipline to say should I be scooping up assets at a discount?
Okay, I like it. Yeah, they were kind of talking with you about that. I feel a couple of the different areas and cycles around it. Interesting. TOL. Outside of that, you were kind of mentioning to them, you were saying, hey, when there's this drop in the market, perhaps investors should not go and just take that lump sum and throw it in. Were you kind of referring to, maybe more of a DCA approach?
Yeah, I really like the DCA approach. And even though statistics bear out to where, lump sums held for very long periods of time usually edge out dollar cost averaging, I think just from a investment behavior and investor behavior standpoint, DCA is a really useful tool, and built into it is a lot of flexibility. So if you had a lump sum that you wanted to invest, I like using round numbers just for example, it's like $12,000. You could invest $1,000 towards your portfolio or whatever investment vehicle it is you want to be investing towards over a 12-month period of time. The reason you do this classic dollar cost average definition is to reduce the risk that you're buying at the top. So you're just going to feel a lot of pain if things sink immediately after making that lump sum investment. The flip side's true too. If you're at a bottom, then you're just going to be buying more and more. So what you're really hedging here is the fact that you can't time the market. And the flexibility you gain when markets deteriorate, if you have the discipline to do this, and it takes discipline, is to be able to shorten that window. So if you see, a 25, 30% discount in assets or main indices like your whatever your portfolio is, or the particular stocks or securities you're investing in, you can make the decision. Okay, at this pain point, at 30% drawdown, I'm going to take the remaining 9 months of my 12 months and shorten that to maybe 1, 2, or 3. You go all in. You can do 2 or 3. That way, you get more of that money that was slated to be invested in quicker and buy more of that discount a lot faster. And I can't say like this isn't timing the market. This is having some intuition about the market, but it's a very disciplined and somewhat rules-based way to approach these discounts without busting your entire strategy. You're still, in this example, sticking to the plan.
Yeah, good points there. Doug, we've got FOMC day coming up here. Do you have any expectations going into it? Any thoughts on what Powell's going to talk about, and how are you feeling overall here with inflation, the economy? We're being told it's in a good place, but it's hard to justify.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to justify because you have 1/4 of negative GDP already printed. You got to do another one. You're technically in a recession. I think a huge factor is just investor sentiment and consumer sentiment really in the dumps. And inflation, that's obviously a huge indicator here that we could be, or we could already be in, or are heading more quickly than not towards a recession. But you have some other lagging indicate. You have manufacturing not really, supporting that argument. Unemployment not supporting that argument. I have to look into wages, but I'm not sure. I think that may or may not be. Anyways, I'll table that one. So you have things here that don't support it, and you have some things that do support it. And as far as the Fed is concerned, they're likely going to reiterate their now more than hawkish stance to get rates up as quickly as possible to try and put an end to inflation, or get rid of the one thing we know that is really weighing on people's minds, portfolios, the economy in general. And we'll see just how much the market has, and I hate this term, but baked in, just how hawkish the Fed is going to be later today. It's a guessing game, but I'd like to think, for all the inconsistencies and putting their reputation on the line with transitory at the end of last year, saying things are transitory at the end of last year, beginning of this year, for however long it was. So their reputation's on the line, and I think the market might know that and reflect that when we see those notes at 2.
Got it. That makes sense to me. Okay, pretty solid stuff. So I'll extend the offer to the audience. Happy to take some questions. We might just do this one for maybe like 15, 20 more minutes. So go ahead if you want, and feel free to request. We had some good questions that came up in past weeks. Doug, I had a couple other questions here. I always kind of end up turning around a little bit on this this crypto ecosystem and asking a question, but recently a lot of people have lost money in crypto, right? Whether that's in Bitcoin, Ethereum, or a crash like UST. For those that have lost money in crypto, does it act similar to? I know that crypto is considered a little different by the U.S. than a traditional stock. Does it act similar to being able to write that off your taxes, or use that as a removal from other gains or something like that. How would that work with the crypto ecosystem?
Yeah, that's a great question. My understanding is that, anytime you buy or sell, or excuse me, anytime you buy and then subsequently sell crypto, a digital asset, you're realizing a gain or a loss, assuming it moved up or down. And just like, selling a stock or any other investment, you would be realizing, a gain or loss in just the same way. And there's a netting process of, come tax time, taking a look at all of the short-term and long-term gains and losses you've realized to ultimately come to, what the final gain or loss is after you've netted through these various gains and losses. So crypto has a unique thing in that, yeah, you'll be booking gains and losses on the sale of any digital asset, which can be used either to generate, either you'll pay taxes on from a gain standpoint, or use those losses to reduce capital gains and then income if they're to some extent. But the one thing I think you're alluding to here is something called the wash sale rule, where if you sell a stock or an investment like an ETF at a loss and then buy it back within 30 days, the loss is not counted. That's the wash sale. You have to, find something kind of like it, or just stay out of that position for 30 days in order to book that loss. That doesn't apply to crypto. So you can, if you're experiencing losses on your crypto positions, first talk to your tax advisor. There, I covered my ass. And then, consider selling it at a loss and buying it. If you want to hold on to it, and just book the loss, you can buy it right back and the loss will still be counted. That's my understanding. I don't think there's been any tax rulings or legislation passed to say otherwise.
Okay, got it. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
So yeah, if you put 10K in, give you a quick example, you put $10,000 in, let's say, Bitcoin, and it's worth $5,000 now, and you still want to hold Bitcoin, and you kind of think it's not going to go down any further. It doesn't really matter. You could sell your $5,000 worth of Bitcoin, buy it right back, and you would have booked a $5,000 short-term capital loss if it was under a year, or
So should everyone be doing
that? It's a good, tax loss harvesting is a core tenet of good tax planning. I think a lot of people are like, disclose I own crypto and I'm trading it. There's that whole avenue, and we've talked about that on the show before. But if you're into good tax planning, it's perhaps something you should consider.
Pretty interesting stuff, honestly. Not enough people telling us about this. All right,
Yeah.
Seymour, I see your hand up.
Hello, buddies. Thank you for bringing Seymour up here. Seymour is, first, he likes finance and crypto, but Seymour appreciates Douglas and his jokes, so Seymour was just curious if Seymour could do one good joke. Seymour promises it is PG-13, not a troll.
Yes, I love that Seymour refers to Seymour in the third person. You already got me chuckling a little bit. What do you got? What we always
Thank you, buddies. Seymour,
give it. Go.
Seymour likes your stuff, Douglas. Okay, buddies, here you go. Why did the Buddha pull crypto coins from his butt?
Why?
Because change comes from within. Seymour butts, baby.
I love it.
Seymour's here all week. Douglas, Seymour would be very happy to have a follow from you buddies, because he likes to spread the love of laughter and the butts, just like Seymour.
Jesus, Seymour, thanks, buddy. Appreciate you coming up here. We're now gonna throw you off the stage.
Thank you, my brother. Hey, thank you also to Wolfie for bringing up Seymour and entrusting in him. Love you guys.
Love you
too.
Love
it. I love it. Okay. All right. Anybody else?
Good. I thought that joke was going to go in a shitcoin direction, but I was pleasantly surprised that it stayed PG-13 and actually it was a good one. It reminds me of an Upright Citizens Brigade sketch called, forgive me, it's called Ass Pennies, and anyone who wants to waste 5 or 6 minutes of their life, rolling around on the floor laughing, go check that one out.
Nice. All right, Smarter Music, do you have a question?
Yeah, good morning, guys, or afternoon, or wherever you guys are at in the world. Appreciate you bringing me up, Wolf. I don't know if you guys covered it or not, but thoughts on Luna. as far as an investment?
Yeah, because I wasn't here last week, I guess I didn't get or I haven't been on for 2 weeks now. We didn't get to talk about Luna Terra and the debacle. Is it like old news now?
I
Crazy.
was quite debacled by it.
Yeah, did you get
Yeah.
debacle? Yeah, I remember. I think my associate pointed out on one spaces you were yield farming 19. Was that you, Wolf?
19.5%, my guy.
How's that going now?
Not so good.
Not
Well,
not
I got
stunk.
I
Not
actually
stonks.
I consider myself lucky because I sold most of my position pretty high before a lot of it crashed. Still took a pretty nasty loss. I've now moved into USDC where I'm getting 9%. Is what
Yeah.
it is. Not 19.5 though. Sad.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I guess smart to. I'm not going to give you a recommendation as to whether or not you should buy or sell any crypto, let alone Luna. I think if I would stay away from it. I mean, I don't know if that's a wreck here, but I'd be super cautious. This thing just blew up. It reeks. It's terrible. What's the thinking here? It's been obliterated.
Well, they're making
and
Terra 2.0.
oh God.
Do Kwon, this was 3 hours ago, published by Bloomberg. Do Kwon wins backing for proposal to rescue Terra project. Terra
Guys,
2.0 is coming.
We just don't.
Well, it moved 25% in the last couple of days. So that's I'm wondering, like, do we stay away from it? Do we wait till it bottom out, or do we just forget about it totally?
I am going to forget about it totally. I am also going to, just put, as someone who's a friend to the crypto space and is pretty pro crypto, I look at what had happened and I think Doug loses all credibility completely. I'm shocked he's still able to operate in the crypto space. Anything you're doing with this particular cryptocurrency would be speculation to the highest order. I don't think I can have an intelligent conversation around how to allocate around that in the context of one's portfolio. Hate to sound so negative and bearish around it. It's just, you saw what happened. So it's happened. That was a $60 billion outflow. Like, that's what happened when that's the size of Enron. That's the size of the General Reserve Money Market Fund breaking a buck in 2008. You should not get to come back from that if you're Luna Terra. I'm more thrilled to see that Bitcoin and survives and holds so far, is holding up around a $30,000 range after an event like that, one of the largest crypto events in a very, 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 very long time, maybe the biggest one. But sorry, Smart, I just can't give you any. I can tell you I'm staying the hell away from it, and I'm not going to give any ideas of what you should do here. Who knows? Is he successful and it comes back and there's an opportunity? I get the thinking, like, I'm going to buy this thing, that's worth nothing when it was worth a lot. And if it comes back, I'm going to make a lot of money. I get that thinking. I do, but I'm not going to comment on it as to whether or not it's a good idea.
All right. Thanks. Appreciate it.
You got it, man.
Doug, do you think Do Kwon should be prosecuted?
I don't have enough facts about what he did from a legal standpoint. Yeah, if he committed a crime, he should be prosecuted.
While you were talking,
Yeah,
I made $1,500.
Congratulations.
On Luna?
I mean, is that a flex? Is that because you're like, hey, everyone get in here, or are you just describing, price action and the fact that you made a bet?
I don't know.
Who knows? Not really sure what the point of saying things like that is.
Hey, Doug, while you were just saying, not really sure what the point of saying things like that is, I actually made $1,500. So,
sir, that is Cole's cash.
Oh, sorry. Oh, wait, I was actually paper trading. My bad.
I think Iris got rugged and wants to come back and hopefully clarify and not
It's gonna come back and be like,
not troll.
it was actually $3,000.
Hey, I was going to come back and say 3K.
No, I'm just clowning, man. I'm just clowning.
No. Irish,
No.
Douglas, we collectively as a whole apologize because Irish has been in trouble previously on 2 other spaces this morning, so
Okay.
apologize.
It's okay.
But Douglas,
got,
we're kind of confused right now because you're my dear friend on Twitter, kind of. I know you don't know who I am, but we have talked about Peloton before, and we can't just act like it disappeared. And so somebody else asked about Luna, and you mentioned how the price of something that was worth something before is down now, and it could possibly go back up, right? I know you're not allowed to make recommendations, but my point is, we can relate that back to Peloton. It was worth something, during the, let's say, like a bubble, right? Back in
Okay. When parabolic.
But let's say Luna was an algorithmic stable coin, the Terra Luna UST, right? There's 3 different ways to back that up, right? I mean, then we relate that back to Peloton, which actually makes money through, let's say, selling a product or service, and let's say
Peloton's based off content, though.
I mean, well, they're transitioning from what, hardware to software service?
Nah, it's all based on content.
Anyways, that's besides my point. My point is, do you think that Peloton could come back?
I think Peloton's looking. I'm still a Peloton
or are
fan.
you gonna compare Peloton to Fitbit?
I'm not going to do that. But I'm also not going to compare it to Luna at all. I mean, how I would like to compare this delicious banana to, say, a pineapple. That's a very tough thing to do. But I can talk to you about Peloton if you like. I've haven't been shy about, I've watched my wife, a big believer in the company. It's changed, the product has changed her life. She's an ardent fan of it. I'm in support of it. I think they've done a lot for at-home fitness. CEO probably not, managing these last 2 years in a practical way. That growth wasn't here forever. If anything, I'm shocked there haven't been, offers from the Nikes and Apples of the world and Amazons of the world. You've heard these rumors, but there hasn't been anything official in terms of, being a pretty good acquisition target.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that seems the most logical thing for me. So there may be some opportunities for shareholders with low basis points to, make out in the positive areas here. I think, if they can revamp the business model and have reasonable expectations for growth in a non-pandemic environment, you might see a Peloton stock that's respectable. But man, it's tough, and I think it's largely a leadership issue. Time to go. I feel like they've missed the mark categorically across their advertising and marketing initiatives for years now. And I think a lot of those things, as well as being overly ambitious, coming out of the pandemic, has resulted into where we are right now, and you hate to see it. And as a household that invests in it, that was a nice round trip we took from nothing to to going parabolic to back to where we were. So this is one I have skin in the game on, and I've been on live TV talking about it. It's a great product. It really, really is. Whether you're looking at it, it's a stationary bike that looks real sleek, but the content. Whoever brought up the comment about the content is probably more spot on there in terms of getting subscribers and followers and participants.
They can't sustain content creation. They just can't sustain content creation.
Well, go hit up a there was a game they just put on that I actually Lane Breaker. I think there's a lot they can do, a lot of integration, a lot of gamification that can go into this that just hasn't shown up yet. So hope Peloton, I really do hope Peloton sticks it out. But I think they're looking ripe as an acquisition target.
It's solid, but it's almost like yoga with Adrian. Like
it will appeal. It has a market. It has a place. Unfortunately, I think their international expansion plans are probably hampered as a result. I know, a couple of years back before the pandemic, they were looking to Germany. They were looking to, covering some other markets here, but that all seems just up in the air at this point. I think that's all I really have to say about Peloton.
Yeah, I'm gonna move on from there. I brought up Dora, and let's see if we can get Dora up here. And then we have one other person also requesting, who I'll bring up.
Hi, Dora.
I can bounce too, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks,
Take
Irish.
care.
We see
Do
you
you see-
connecting, Dora.
Yeah, all right. Looks like there's. All right, I got another one up here. Bukhari.
What's up? Step on up.
All right, Dora's trying one more time. Let's see if we can get Dora up here. I feel like Dora, you better have a good question after all this connecting. That's all I'm saying.
Twitter is not favoring Dora today. I don't think it's her fault. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know. Felt like she had a good one coming. Okay, all right, two other topics. Oh, yeah, there we go. What's up, Dora?
Hey. Uh-oh. Dora, you with us? Last chance.
Dora sounds like they're at a party.
Dora's rocking out. I know, we see you waving. Get that hardware setup going.
Okay.
Moving on.
All right, moving on. One other question I have is a little bit more in the crypto ecosystem. We just had the fallout of this Terra Luna ecosystem. We have, like we talked about earlier, a lot of stuff that's elsewhere that's crashing. Have you kind of re-examined your position at all on, having maybe clients have any crypto in their portfolios?
Have I adjusted my position on crypto in general?
Yeah, like when a client comes to you and asks about adding it.
No, because I pretty much focus on like Bitcoin and Ethereum, which I haven't seen, my same pros and cons for both of them still exist. I've largely viewed the rest of the crypto cone. Yeah, crypto cone. Crypto coin. Sorry, I don't know why that made me laugh. I not to say there aren't going to be winners, and I just don't know enough about a lot of the other stuff and really have any skin in the game on them. I took a friend's wreck to buy some Chainlink once, and watch that go into the toilet. So my stance hasn't really changed. Looking at Bitcoin as digital store of value, digital gold, looking resilient. I think I've become maybe even more bullish after seeing how it held up over the Luna Terra deal. Ethereum, obviously, price action there under 2. Is it still under 2K? Right around 2K.
Yeah, slightly under.
I remember well above 4. But I think that's my stance on kind of the cryptocurrency side of things. I really just focus on Bitcoin and want to make sure that that's intact because it's somewhat the lifeblood or pulse of crypto, right? It's boomer coin, and then over on the Web3 side of things is where a lot of my attention goes. PFP projects. It's utility time. I think we've gotten to peak saturation on the PFP side of things. I think they're so cool. And I still, look, there's a difference between allocating capital to PFP projects and enjoy versus enjoying the vibes and all the things you hope to get out of them from a community standpoint. But hopefully, we're going to see a big shift into the utility standpoint. Unless you're like, CCO projects, making it pretty damn clear this is only here for the vibes. I love projects like that. It's pretty clear what it is. But kind of the market calling out, you have a roadmap to build things that can't be built today. Yeah, no, there's probably not a 40 ETH valuation on your PFP project. I think we'll see more and more of that. Blue chips will likely stay blue chips. Strong communities will obviously stay strong communities. But I'm so push back on all of this. There's a silver lining to the Luna Terra debacle and this crypto shakeup, which is, God, there's a lot of shit in this environment that needs to be flushed down, right? And this was a moment here in the crypto ecosystem to flush a lot of stuff out that I think will still get flushed out. I think if we do hit, a recession and we see liquidity dry up more and more, it will have a direct impact on the Web3 space. And that's both good and bad. Bad because you don't want a space you enjoy to take a hit, but great in that the real builders, basically real builders in that space are going to shine. They're going to stand out more, and it's going to create more opportunity to focus on the stuff that is important versus the oodles of bullshit that's materialized in the Web3 crypto space.
Okay, a couple questions there. Well, I kind of wanted to talk a little about crypto drips, but also, did you change your bio?
No.
Did CFP used to be in there somewhere?
No.
It never said CFP in there. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm a CFP. You can look it up.
No. You're all good. Okay, so my question is right now, what's been going on with crypto drips? Because I know we're having you on Thursday night, right?
Yeah. My goal is to get there during a chaotic time of the day, but I'm looking forward to that one with When Spaces and When Mint. And it's crypto. Wolf, it's crypto drip. It's not. There's no plural.
Crypto drip. It's just a drip.
So you can knock that off right now. No, I love you. Crypto drip is one of the things that I'm super excited about. We are inching quickly closer to the finish line here in terms of launching the website and the store. And I can't believe we've made it this far. What we've developed is I think a way NFTs will be worked into e-commerce, moving forward. I had this view through the lens of coffee that NFT ownership could translate into incentives and discounts for products in stores. And you kind of saw this one company, if you will, Manifold, who's been a big developer in the Web3 space, develop a gate or a way to access. They created an integration with Shopify where you could show you own a particular NFT and claim an incentive. And Cool Cats did it with hats, and Doodles does it as well. And that was a cool integration, but it really didn't create a fluid e-commerce setup where you could assign to a particular product in a store what a discount or incentive would be. You basically just connect your wallet. Hey, you want a cryptoed? You can get this piece of cryptoed merch or cryptoed coffee. So we're doing this through coffee. We're creating coffees for NFT communities so they can get instant utility. So we know that all of these projects, all of these PFP projects are looking for utility, and we've created a way to basically private label their own coffee for their members, so we can drop ship to their token holders' door a branded coffee of their own, of their community. And it's going to be really cool to go to a store, connect your wallet, it be able to verify you own a particular token, apply a discount, and then drop ship something to you. It's so dope. Can't wait to share it. I don't think I've seen that in the Web3 space at all. And I hope this kind of sets the tone with how Web3 businesses can pursue e-commerce and incorporate NFTs into that.
Love it. Yeah, I'm excited to go down the rabbit hole with that on Thursday evening. Daniel, I see you came up. Do you have some comments you want to throw in here?
Hey, Wolf. Thanks for bringing me up. Doug, nice to see you. Doug and I have talked on the crypto.
Yeah.
And, man, I'm a firm believer in airdropping. Well, I guess it's not really an airdrop, but in drop shipping coffee to token holders. I'm 100% behind that. I'm a firm believer that coffee makes the world go round.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that to come out. I did when I jumped up as a speaker a few minutes ago, I pinned a tweet on just personal finance with crypto. I had a thought on the crypto fund 4 that A16Z just came out with.
Yeah. It was like $4.5 billion.
Yeah, $4.5 billion. Unbelievable, right? And I mean, it's parabolic what they're doing with each crypto fund. So it's almost, crypto fund 5 might be bigger than the entire ecosystem. Who knows? But
yeah, there are real builders in this space doing big things. It's not, and the real builders are hard at work. Look, the Crypto Drip Twitter account and Discord's been super, super quiet because I'm building. It's just me and then a few others, and I'm building. And when it's out, it'll be out, and you can judge for yourself. And then we'll hopefully build a community around that. But yeah, $4.5 billion.
Absolutely. And I think to your point, which I totally agree with, you were asked, hey, is there anything in your portfolio resembling crypto? And you spoke to Bitcoin and Ethereum a little bit. I think when you look at like real estate, for example, just traditional real estate from 1920 to current, you get almost a 4% return, more or less, over the history of even with the 2008 drop.
Yeah,
I
four
think
to, four
we
to
don't,
six on real estate sounds about right.
yeah. And we don't have the history of crypto really to show us what's going to happen over time because it's being created right now. And I think that's my reservation. I do own crypto. I do own traditional stocks. I do own real estate, but I don't put all my eggs in one basket with crypto yet, because who knows? I mean, right. I know people personally who lost deep bags with the Terra Luna crisis, and
Yeah, it's
I
crazy.
mean, I feel for them, but
well, there aren't a lot of good eggs to even put in the basket.
Right.
Is the thing. Like if you're looking at, if you assume Bitcoin and Ethereum are your good eggs, you have two. If you go out to large cap, mid cap, small cap U.S. stocks, you have thousands, to choose from in terms of becoming diversified. It's really interesting you're bringing this up, because this has come up in like conversations, with clients. I'm still finessing the analogy here, so bear with me and forgive me if it's not all adding up. But there was some analogy I was trying to make around, hey, you look to like the cannabis space, right? You look to the marijuana space, and we all would agree that like this is a huge market, an absolutely massive market that still isn't mature because of obviously law and regulation. It's done state by state, it's still federally illegal, and that is a frustrating thing if you're an allocator, because you see a market that has so much potential, but how you go about allocating to it is extraordinarily difficult because of law, regulation, and otherwise. It's like who's going to be the Nike? Who's going to be the market lead, over in the cannabis or psychedelic space where it's just going to be absolutely massive? It's very frustrating, and certainly when I have conversations with clients around, these sectors, if you will, it's tough. It's tough. I've personally lost money, investing in that space, because it's and that's how I know firsthand how tough it can be. So now try and relate that over to crypto. Look, yeah, still largely speculatory, but at least, and not clearly not marijuana, clearly not psychedelics. Some may argue it is a drug. Crypto is one hell of a drug. My point being that at least in this space, you can kind of look to the Bitcoin and Ethereum, of the world, really just those two, and say, okay, well, I kind of know where my market lead is, right? And that's at least one step better. It's not ideal, but it's one step better than, so in other words, crypto isn't going anywhere, right? You see someone said like, $4.5 billion on that fund. Like, yeah, it's a lot of capital to allocate. It's not going anywhere. At least you have, good old boomer coin out here, holding true.
Yeah, I love that. I think you obviously are involved in both kind of sides of the spectrum, which gives you a really unique perspective, which I appreciate. I think, it comes back to a bit you said then, earlier, and I'm going to drop off after this, but
yeah,
when you look at projects in the different blockchains, me personally, I am more comfortable backing a project when I know what the founders are capable of. And I think that's like any company, right? You're not going to invest in a company where you just don't believe in the founder. But I think in this space, when the building of the project is so novel and each concept is sometimes the first of its kind, it's hard to rely on the experience of the ecosystem. And I think I kind of lean on the experience of the person in the ecosystem, or the group of people, or the group of founders. And I think the same goes for crypto. When I know there's a builder or project founders in some ecosystem or some blockchain building something that I believe will be highly successful, I tend to believe more in that blockchain or that coin as well.
I appreciate that, and kind of relate that to crypto drip in a way is, what's this going to be successful at doing? Just showing the space that there's a new way to go about e-commerce and Web3, and that would be awesome. But maybe crypto drip fails as a business, but its legacy is having shown people there's a way to go about doing that. I mean, that's really cool. I'd also like to secure a bag along the way, but that would be super cool. Or maybe it's both. Maybe it's like, oh my God, this guy's doing this with coffee, giving instant utility to, communities that are loaded up in their treasury and thirsty as ever for giving some utility to their community members while they build out, parts of their company and project that can't be built today, but will be built down the road. So, we're going to find out. Well, and I think that's part of the excitement as far as, my thinking goes. I feel like I've already won, to have gotten this far, to be able to, be in a position to launch this thing and send hundreds of bags of coffee to people and communities, and then see if we can't scale that up. I can't tell you how slow and cautious we've been building. And that's one of the weird things is like the crypto space, the Web3 space, if you will, moves lightning speed, making it feel like you have to build at lightning speed. But if you can find a way to build slowly and diligently and have the confidence to know that what you're building, can build into the ever-changing environment that is crypto and Web3, that's kind of been my overarching lesson of building in here is you can see your vision through, you can go at your own pace, you can execute, and hopefully create something that's really awesome that you look back, you stand back regardless of the outcome after you launch it and say, hey, I'm proud of this. And I also have the luxury of building, and no matter what I do, it's kind of good marketing for the business and everything. That's not, in this case, this is not the primary goal, but it's always a secondary, effect of doing this kind of stuff. So thanks for the opportunity to kind of, pump a little bit more about Crypto Drip and why I'm doing it and what it means. To be a true builder in this space is a lot of fun.
I love that. Put me on the short list for a bag, please. I love that. And I think
got it, man.
You make another good point. I'm going to say goodbye with this note, but building fast isn't always the best way to do it. If you want to be the Apple of Web3, look, Samsung and a bunch of different Apple competitors had features years before Apple came out with it. But when Apple came out with it, billions of dollars were still poured into those products. It's the quality of the build more than the speed of the build. I think in Web3 that's sometimes upside down, but it doesn't have to be. So I love it. Thanks, Doug.
You nailed it. You nailed it. You got it.
You guys are great. I'll be back later, but love it. Love the spaces. See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Daniel. Appreciate that.
Awesome.
Cool. Okay. Pretty interesting stuff. We'll maybe go for about 10 more minutes here. If anybody else does have anything that they want to throw out, feel free to go ahead and request that.
Please. Yeah, just a note. Sorry, I was late today. Hard stop at 12. And
yeah.
My day is screwed royally.
What are you up to today?
Meeting, a couple, everything. All forms of meetings. Delivering financial plans. Prospects who want to learn about financial planning. Interview with reporters at noon.
Which reporters?
CNBC at noon. Did the Yahoo financing earlier today. Busy day.
CNBC, Yahoo, can't get enough of you, huh?
I'm Doug Boneparth.
It's like I'm Kevin Durant. There you go. It's just like it. All right. I think we got one more question. Ebony Cabaret.
Hi. Good morning, guys.
Hey
How
there.
you guys doing? I
Good. How
have
are you?
been interested in the stock market for some time, and I do not know where to begin. So I wanted to ask, I know this is like a remedial dumb question, but what are the easiest places where you can just start off investing in like small stocks until you get better at it? Do you have any like suggestions, like where certain companies or any app like Robinhood or?
So yeah, I can happily answer some of those things for you. Take this a number of ways. There's the question about what would be a really good platform to, start getting some experience with trading stocks, whether they're big, small, or otherwise, as well as like just what's the best order of operations when approaching investing as a whole. Is that a good summary of what you're asking?
Yes, that you kind of articulated correctly.
Well, glad to know I'm earning my keep when clients pay me for this stuff. But here, listen, I would say this. I got to hold true to my own discipline and my own rigor of making sure that you're in a good spot to be investing and putting risk on your money. I don't think there's ever really a bad time to with a small amount of money and kind of getting a feel for things. If you, I mean, you can go. So here's an app recommendation. I do, and I will disclose. I do some work with Public.com. Public is a pretty cool app for getting some experience around trading stocks. You can do it fractionally. I mean, you literally can go buy a bunch of stocks for $1 or really small amounts to see what it's like. And I think just doing that, putting amount of nominal risk just to see how this works, like what a market order is, what it's like to even trade a stock, to sell a stock. I mean, these are just mechanical things that if you have no experience doing, you're going to be nervous about doing it. So, hey, go take $50, $100, go tinker, with doing market orders and trades and limit orders and, get a feel for the infrastructure and apparatus. There's a lot of learning that you can do there for almost, no money at all, or really not a lot of risk before you start really putting risk on investment for the long term for your big goals. So there's that. There's just playing around with a nominal amount of money. But back to my kind of point of, are you in a spot to be putting risk on your money outside of just learning about these things? And I call it earning the right to invest, and it's really taking care of yourself and the foundational areas, personal finance first. I would want to make sure that you got enough cash for a reserve, whether that's 3 or 6 months of living expenses. I'm more of a 6 to 9 months of your living expenses in cash, making sure that you're really good with cash flow, right? You're very much in control of how money comes in and out of your life. Hopefully you're running a surplus and can afford to take that free cash each month and put it towards your cash goals first, or split that between your cash goals like that emergency fund and your longer term goals, whether that's funding your retirement accounts through your 401k or IRAs or whatever you have access to. I'll kind of stop right there because to me, it's very critical that you get this piece down, really well.
And thank you very much, Douglas. I got almost everything that I need. I jotted certain things down. I really appreciate that. And thank you for being so kind. I appreciate it.
You got it. You got it. I'm happy to help. And thank you for shutting me up and saying you got it.
It's okay. I follow you and Wolf on the space. So the next time you have a space, I will be listening. Thank you.
Thank you. You got it. You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay. Mia, brought you up. Do you have a question?
Hello. I have a question about penny stocks and if they are still valid in today's economy, and if it's worth messing around with.
Oh, that's a good question. Wouldn't be the first avenue, to go down. I like seeing people set themselves. You just heard me talk about laying the foundation, and then once they get into the ability to consistently invest, I want to build good investment behaviors there. And the best way to do that certainly isn't, figuring out which penny stocks are, going to win the day. Very volatile, hard to do. It's like really, the thesis of, that's mega stock picking, I guess, or your more advanced version of it. I'm not a stock picker. We don't necessarily encourage clients to do that. They can do that in the form of being opportunistic or having an opportunity portfolio, if that makes sense. Just like I advised before, if you want to see what that looks like, again, there are apps that you can do fractional investing, not put a nominal amount of capital to checking your strategies. Penny stocks typically follow a lot of swing trading and momentum type behavior, and then I know the vernacular. I wouldn't know how to execute that. It's just not what I do. So for 99.9% of retail investors, penny stocks is probably not for them, but it does have a place. There are plenty of people who are very successful trading small caps and ultra small caps or mega, whatever, micro caps. There we go. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you so much, Douglas. Yes, that actually does answer my question. Thank you. I'm a beginner, so I'm not quite familiar with the different avenues of investing.
Yeah. Don't. So here's a good rule of thumb. The sexier or more nuanced and more skills it takes, or anything that sounds like market timing, getting in and out, and really being a student of the market is going to be multiples more difficult to a game that's already difficult, which is just getting good, investor behavior on, your more diversified portfolios or low cost index funds. Work your way there, get these things down pat, be really good at them. And you'll find that you'll likely have long-term success. Certainly more long-term success than if you did no planning at all.
Yeah, bitch.
All right. What's up, Kaylee?
Love it.
All right.
What's up, Kaylee?
All right.
What up, penny stock whores?
Interesting. You got a question for us?
All right.
Okay.
Hearing none. Doug, I think we're kind of running close here on time anyways. So
Yeah.
I think now is ideal to wrap it up to make sure that we give you enough time for lunch or anything else you got to do in there. Not sure if you've
Much
been eating
appreciated.
during this. Yeah, I need to go get some food in me too. Maybe walk my dog. All the
Nice.
good things.
Let's do it.
Yeah, any other closing thoughts for today? Anything else you want to share? Any advice for the audience?
No, I do want to say in light of in light of yesterday's tragedy, I can't give enough thoughts, love, and prayers to everyone in Texas. It's awful. I think we need to be reminded of this, and here's a forum in which you've invited me up on a stage to talk about things. Please don't forget, what took place yesterday, and let it weigh on your heart and conscience, because these things shouldn't happen. And I can't imagine, as a father of two young girls, there were some tears yesterday. So let's let's chalk up these, donate these last few minutes of this space to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thoughts and heart goes out, but I know that's not enough. I really do hope to see some real change.
Yeah.
At some
Donate,
point caused
give blood.
by this.
There could be, as a young man with kids, it's just so senseless. We're sick. We're sick. We have a illness in this country, and we're the only country that does this bullshit. So I'll leave it there. Have a good day, everyone. Sorry to leave you on a somber note. Be back next week. Thanks for coming out.
An important thought to keep. Appreciate you taking the time with us, Doug. Take care.
Got it. Later.
All right, bye everyone.